seconds. Okay, the mayor's called the meeting to order. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Here.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Here.
Councilmember Erin Delaney.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Here.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Here.
Okay, we have 5 ayes, which means a quorum is present for this regular meeting of the Garfield City Council, which is being held today, which is Tuesday, February the 12th, 2019. This regular meeting is being held in accordance with provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice has been provided by mail, facsimile, and email to the official city newspapers and to other interested parties, and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin boards in City Hall. If everyone would please rise, we'd like to begin with the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father and Almighty God, bless this city council and all their works, that they may be useful to your people whom they serve. And we ask this in your name.
Amen.
Amen.
At this time, if there's a motion to approve the reports of the cabinet as presented orally and in writing during the work session held earlier this evening.
So moved.
Second. Okay, motion by Councilmember Aloya, seconded by Councilmember Joseph Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Aye.
Councilmember Erin Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Resolutions, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, please.
Okay, the very first item we have on the agenda is the introduction of the 2019 municipal budget. I don't know if you want to say anything, Tom. Sure.
Yes, please, sir. Mayor and council, to the citizens who are here this evening and the citizens who are listening on television, tonight, after much work and much deliberation with our finance officer, Mr. Roy Rigatano, and with the assistance of our auditor, Dieter Lurch, I presented the municipal budget to the governing body. The municipal budget, just kind of to reflect in the past, in 2017, our budget increase was 2.48%. In 2018, our budget increase was 2.93%. I'm happy to report that the budget that I present this evening calls for a 1.96% tax increase. We are under the 2% cap, despite the fact that city spending is up some $800,000. Last year, I reported that we had the highest surplus in our history at $8.5 million. I'm very proud of the fact that this year our surplus is higher. Our surplus was $8.7 million. The tax increase at 1.96% for the average home in Garfield would be $60 per year. We have worked very hard on this budget. I've asked the council for their support. I asked the public for their support. This budget allows all the employees to get a 2% increase. It preserves the health benefits, the dental benefits, et cetera. It also continues to maintain all of the services that the city has in place. This past year, we hired 5 new police officers. That is in this budget. That is a wonderful thing. It also allows us to replace people who have retired in the health department, the finance department, and the tax office. It will allow us to implement our new parking permit program, which will be an online program. That'll take place over the next couple of months. It also provides for a $50,000 increase in the funding to our municipal library. Our library recently wrote to us and advised us that they haven't had an increase in a number of years. They are funded at a good number here so that they can improve, they can continue to improve on the services they provide to our people. We continue to aggressively pay down our debt, and we continue to maintain a healthy surplus, which allows us to maintain a healthy bond rating. The bond rating is very important because we borrow based on the bond rating, and because our bond rating is good, our interest rates are lower. So I want to thank the council for their support in advance, and I'm proud of the budget that we have presented because we come in at 1.96% while everybody's getting a 2% increase, and all of our residents are getting the services they need. They're getting 5 additional police officers. This is a budget to be proud of.
And the budget is introduced by the entire city council. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Mr. Dutch, to you, to Mr. Rigatano, to Mr. Dieter Lurch, and the auditors, you definitely did do a good job, without question. And it's a very, it's a relief in the sense of the situations that so many municipalities are in. We are not. For our city of Garfield, I'm extremely proud of the people that do all the things that they do here, our city manager, our CFO, and Dieter Lurch definitely proved it in black and white with this year's budget. I vote aye. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Yes, I heard Mr. Lurch make his presentation, and it's encouraging. You know, I asked him even to look forward into next year to give us a projection. While he couldn't give us an exact projection, he's very comfortable with where we're going financially. One thing that was in there is that the growth of the city, the assets and the value of the city has increased. And with that, you know, it's always been said about how the city has redeveloped. And the redevelopment has increased the value, you know, when we had these big projects going down. So that's encouraging. Look, a good budget, in my opinion, to the taxpayers is zero increase. And that's something that I think we all have in mind. But a 1.9% with was it $60 per assessment, 267,000 assessment?
Yes.
Is a fair budget. I just hope that the school budget comes in line, and I hope that the county budget lines up with this, with our numbers also, to keep the increase minimalized. Again, this is only the introduction, so we will have to vote on this going
April
forward.
9th.
And so I vote aye. Thank you.
Councilmember Erin Delaney.
Yes, it's both an honor and a relief to be able to sit up here and have full faith in our professionals. So it's needless to say, I'm very impressed with our team here with Mr. Dutch, Mr. Rigatano, and Mr. Lurch. Thank you for everything that you've done. I concur with Mr. Calendrillo in hopes that the Board of Education and county follow suit. But with that being said, at this time, I, without a doubt, vote yes.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
I also, Tom and Roy and Indeed, I'd like to congratulate you also. And it's not easy. It's not easy coming up, especially these days. You see other towns bonding for millions of dollars for pensions and other things that we seem to be doing okay right now. And it's a great budget, but like Councilman Calandrello, yeah, a zero budget would be perfect. And the only way where we could strive for that is by redevelopment. If we don't redevelop, our town, our city stays stagnant. Stagnant doesn't do us any good as far as the value of our city. So we have to continue redevelopment. The redevelopment we have done is good, but we can't stop. We can't stop. We have to move forward if we want to continue this process of increasing the value of our city. So definitely good job. I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Roy, Tom, Dieter, you guys did a great job. Congratulations. This is the lowest percentage increase in the 3 years at 1.96. And yeah, our debt continues to go down. You know, it's a testament to the hard work that you guys do. I vote aye.
Okay, 5 ayes. The budget passes on introduction. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, resolutions number 42 and including number 47 have signatures of all 5 council members. So if there's no objection, I will take one roll call vote on all those resolutions. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Erin Delaney. Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. We have a resolution authorizing change order number 2 to DMR Architects to provide additional architectural services in connection with the construction of a new police station, City of Garfield. The resolution is signed by council members Erin Delaney and Joseph Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Mr. City Manager, with regard to our compliments, and they don't go anywhere, they still stand, great job on the budget. But DMR Architects, what are we doing? Why are we spending more money on the situation? Or do you want to put that together for the next meeting?
That was, the actual change order was for some more interior design specifically for the window treatments. The bond was $970,000. The money's in place. We put that back in December.
Okay, so it should be authorized.
Yes.
Okay, I
Please.
vote aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Yes, the last change order that we bonded, the 976,
Yes.
right? Why, all right, why are these change orders coming now every couple of months? See, that bothers me. You know, the last one was explained, and was explained pretty thoroughly as to the reasoning, you know, with the costs of the moving and of the facility, the furniture, the other hard costs that you had. Now, are we to expect anything going forward at this point? Because if it's going to be a monthly pattern here, then I have a problem with this.
To my knowledge, as a CFO, I did speak to the police, specifically to the sergeant, and I was told this should be the end of the change orders. I asked the same question because I have to come before you to get the approval before we can move forward. And I made sure, and I did a spreadsheet, I'll make sure you get it again for the 970. That should include all potential change orders to finish this job.
So we are hopeful that there are no more.
If
going
there is
forward.
the engineer, someone has to come before you, it will
No,
not
we
be
tally
me.
it up, it's over $1 million.
It is. And I thought I gave a spreadsheet on this in December, what it entailed. I will get it to you.
Well, with this far into this project, and if it's 57,000 more, or whatever the exact number is, I will approve it and I will vote aye.
Thank you.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The resolution is adopted, is approved. The next 2 resolutions have signatures of all 5 council members, so if there's no objection, I'll take one roll call vote on those resolutions. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Joe, this is for 49 and 50? Or
Correct, yes, 49 and 50.
Aye.
Okay, those 2 resolutions pass. Okay, we have a resolution amending resolution number 19-15, adopted by the City Council on January the 8th, 2019, to add properties to those properties identified in resolution number 19-15, to examine whether all of the properties should be determined to be an area in need of redevelopment, specifically a non-condemnation redevelopment area pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 40A:12A-1 et sec. The resolution is signed by council members Aaron Delaney, Joseph Delaney, and Rigoloso. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
I'd really like to have a joint meeting, Mayor, because we had some other issues about what's going on with the redevelopment and such, just so that way we have a full understanding, why did they expand this other than they're just expanding it? Why are they expanding the scope of where they're looking for redevelopment?
This is a different piece of property by a
Right.
different owner.
Right, but why are we expanding it to go into this piece?
Yeah, what happened was.
See what I'm saying, Mayor?
What happened was, Dr. Donna Koch had reached out to my office. She advised Pat in my office that she was interested in her property being studied. Her property is adjacent to the Ensera properties. She sent an email that said, "Hi, Tom, I spoke to Pat today. I was wondering what I should do to start redevelopment project proposal on my property at 297 and 301 Passaic Street properties. I know that the Ensera proposal has been submitted and would like to plan something alongside their proposal in helping to beautify Passaic Street. Please let me know what the next step is." So I asked in a reply email if she was interested. I would ask that the resolution be amended to include her properties as well, so that you would have 6 properties, contiguous properties on Passaic Street where a redevelopment study could be done. Again, it's a non-condemnation redevelopment study, and should the mayor and council pass this, it would have to be, the planning board would then have to vote on doing the study.
Okay, well, really, what we're doing is we're authorizing the planning board to spend money to look at it. Is it not, I mean, in essence, that's exactly what we're saying, that we're gonna allocate funds for the planning board to look at additional pieces of property, regardless of what the cost may be to that expanded look. What I'm getting to is, and this is the second resolution that we put on the floor earlier, for $300, we just wanted to see what the transcript were, and Mayor, we were denied that. So here we're extending a plan, which means we're authorizing more money, that's all we're doing. But then when we ask to get paperwork so we can read what it is, we're told, well, just go to the meeting. That's my whole point. I went the long way around, Mayor, to make my point. I hope I did. I'll vote aye on the resolution because I think redevelopment is a positive thing. I'm all for redevelopment, but all I'm voting aye for is to spend more money, not much, it's not a lot, to look at another piece of property. And I think maybe it has potential, maybe it doesn't. But then when we ask for the report, we're denied for $300. Go pay for it yourself. Not the answer we should be told, Mayor, just my opinion. I'll vote aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Yes, I have one question on this. Tom, and maybe you can answer this, maybe you can't. Let's say these are joined together. And let's say that some of the properties do meet the criteria, but some do not meet the criteria. Does the entire redevelopment structure get denied at that point?
I can't answer that. I would say that the planner has to do it, the licensed planner, who is a specialist in the area, has to review it, come back to us, and tell us what they think. And then, I don't know that. I don't know the answer. It's
Right,
all
and
speculation.
I understand what we're talking about by merging the projects. But I also had some questions as to how we arrive at these properties. You very well explained about Dr. Donna Koch's property. She sent a letter inquiring. I still haven't received that on the initial project, the Clark Street and the Passaic Street, which I had requested a while back.
Yeah,
So-
I was not at that meeting, but I'm happy to answer you now.
Okay.
I reported this at the redevelopment meeting, not the last one, the one before that. I don't recall the date offhand. The deputy mayor had advised me that the Anseras had reached out to him and said, we are interested in the redevelopment process, and as a result of that inquiry, I put the resolution up.
Right, I would just like to see documentation going forward, like, for instance, a letter from the property owner that you could share with the rest of the council. Conversations are conversations. I'm sure it's accurate, but there again, I think documentation of how we arrive to certain areas and how we decide to even put it up there, to have the planning board spend money. I think we should have a paper trail. And I think that's only fair. And there should be a process, and just something I talked about in the past. I'm going to vote for this at this time. I think that's a good area to really work on. And it's across from a cemetery. I think there's some opportunity if it's done properly, and considering density and the effects on the entire neighborhood. So I will vote aye.
Councilmember Erin Delaney.
Yes, I think this is an absolute great opportunity for the city of Garfield. The key word that stood out to me that Mr. Dutch said is that these are 6 contiguous pieces of property, and you don't see that very often where the owners themselves are looking to redevelop. So I thank them for their interest in wanting to beautify our city and the Passaic Street area. And as it was mentioned, because of the redevelopment that's happened in Garfield is one of the main reasons why we've been able to keep our taxes so low. So I just want to keep seeing that progress move forward. So with that being said, I vote aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Yeah, I agree just what was just said. Okay, we're going to have the planning board spend some money to do a study. But then by doing that study, that's going to bring a lot more money into the city if it's redeveloped. And this is the first step in any redevelopment project that we do. Planning board has to do a study, and it's been that way forever. So to say that, I don't want to spend money on the plan to do a study, well, then we won't have no redevelopment whatsoever. We have to spend money for the planner to do the study, or else redevelopment will be dead in the water. So this is just a process where we're going to enhance not only Passaic Street, which is in dire need of redevelopment, and we've been trying this for years. It's been in the newspapers. So if an owner of a piece of property comes up to me and says, hey, look, how do I go about redeveloping my property? I'm gung-ho for that. That's a no-brainer. I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
But first of all, I'm excited that the redevelopment's finally taking off onto Passaic Street. You know how I feel about that and that whole area. And it's nice to see that the private owners of these properties, they're instrumental in redeveloping their own property. You need you need to do redevelopment, you need the planners to do it. And, you know, we gotta get that area cleaned up, and it's real good to see that there's gonna be 6 pieces of parcels that are continuous, and I hope they do a right job, a correct job. I vote aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The resolution is approved. We have a resolution which reads as follows. Whereas the Garfield Planning Board has held a public hearing on a redevelopment investigation report for certain properties along Passaic Street, and whereas the transcript of the meeting has been requested for the mayor and council to review, now therefore be it resolved by the City of Garfield, the mayor and council, that a copy of the transcript of said planning board be purchased for review by the mayor and council. This resolution is offered by council members Calandrillo and Aloya. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
I believe the estimated cost was $300. Do we want to put a threshold to it so it doesn't become an excessive use or an abuse? But if that's the point, then I'll entertain that. But at the same token, I'm voting aye on the resolution. I think it's worth the redevelopment. I think it's worth having the support of every council member. Get the transcript. I vote aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Yes, I asked that the resolution be drafted, and so I'm clear, I'm not looking for the part of the presentation. We're going to have, I'm being told by our city manager, we're going to have our own presentation. My interest is in, from the comments from the planning board and the residents that were in attendance on this study only. Not any other applications, just on their comments and questions. Because in the past, there was a Passaic Street redevelopment project and eminent domain, and it was actually defeated in court. And part of that was that no planning board members asked questions. So my interest is, if I'm going to be asked to vote on this, I just want to make a fully informed decision, and I want the comments and the questions. So I'm going to support this, and it was at my request, so I vote aye.
Councilmember Arundellini.
Yes, so first, I just want to be clear that I have no objection to any council member getting this information. It's with how they get this information that I have an issue with. This is public information. The public is entitled to it. Do I feel that it should come out of the city's budget? No. I would much rather, if it is $300, the 5 of us pool $60 out of our own pockets to do so. I was advised by our city manager that the city never took on this cost in the past if it was asked by a council member, and nor do any other communities provide this, again, out of the city's budget. So my vote is to vote no from it coming out of the city budget, but my offer still stands in the $60 per council member out of our own pockets.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Yeah, what we're going to be doing, every single citizen in the city of Garfield is entitled to the transcripts, I believe. Am I correct, Tom?
If they make an Oprah request and they pay the cost.
Exactly. So I'm no better than Joe average citizen. Why shouldn't I have to pay just like Joe Smith? If I want transcripts, then what, if we start this, then what is it that Joe Smith asked me, could you go get me the transcripts? So we could be opening a whole can of worms. It never's been done in the past. All right, why is it all of a sudden being considered now? I don't know. But past practice has where it was never done in the past. Other communities don't do it. So even I agree with my daughter brought up a good thing about $60 each, but I'm not even for that, because then I don't want Joe Smith asking me, could you go get me transcripts? Because you get it for free. Well, not that I get it for free, but the city actually pays for it. So I'm not for that. I vote no.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even a big meeting. I don't know what this is all about. You know, there was 3 people in the audience. There were some questions asked, some back and forth. It seems really like, you know, everybody's getting themselves uptight over, you know, a few questions of, well, you know, a private owner wants to do with this piece of property. So I don't know what the research is and what you're trying to find out. So, you know, I have a problem with that, like, because I know, I want to be careful with my words because they seem to be getting taken out of content, but I do know that there's people on that side of town that you can't even plant a garden without them saying something, you know, and, you know, it's upsetting that when we try to do something, there's always kickback. You know, these are private people who own their own properties, you know, and they want to do something, and now you got this going on. And then we want to get transcripts that it's never been done, and it's not been done at any other city or neighboring cities either. So it's like opening up a Pandora's box. I'm going to vote no.
Okay, we have 2 ayes and 3 nays. The resolution does not pass. Bills and claims, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, please.
Okay. Resolved by the City Council of the City of Garfield that the following bills number 2152 to 2154 covering Dog Trust Fund, Community Policing Trust Fund totaling $1,207.00, and the current fund reserve totaling $25,559.92, and the current fund totaling $113,520.10, and the water fund reserve totaling $38,652.97, and the water fund totaling $5,632.28, and the general capital fund totaling $534,080.85, and the water capital fund totaling $2,221.00 per attached computer list, be ordered paid, and the proper officers are hereby authorized to issue checks for same, provided there are funds in the respective appropriations. Be it further resolved that the action of the mayor, city clerk, and city treasurer in issuing checks and payment on a ratification list, which includes 12 items prior to the meeting, be ratified. Bills and claims resolution is offered by council members Aloya, Aaron Delaney, Joseph Delaney, and Rigoloso. On the roll call, council member Aloya.
Aye.
Council member Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Bills and claims are approved. Ordinances, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, please.
Okay, the following entitled ordinance was introduced at a meeting held on January the 29th, 2019. It was duly published. Copies were posted on the bulletin boards in City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public, and having complied with the law, this ordinance was not read in full, and the City Council can now proceed with the public hearing and final passage. Bond ordinance to authorize the undertaking of various improvements to Fleischer's Brook in, by, and for the City of Garfield in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $250,000
Oh, bless you.
to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to appropriate a federal grant, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. So we have a public
Yep.
hearing.
On this ordinance and this ordinance only, would anybody like to come up and speak? I see no hands.
Okay, on second reading, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance is adopted. And finally, we have on introduction an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A:4-45.14. The ordinance is introduced by the entire city council. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
One thing that cap bank, that the city of Garfield is doing such an excellent job, you wouldn't believe. I'm telling you, but trust me, we're doing a great job in the capital bank cap. I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance passes on introduction, and that concludes our written items for voting at this time. Mr. Mayor, members of the city council.
At this time, citizens and taxpayers, anybody like to come on up, please state your name and address. You will have 3 minutes. Anybody like to come on up? Dennis, please.
Bow's outside.
Yes.
Mic is on? Should be.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My comments tonight are concerning the green.
Are you hearing the mic?
Any other grant.
Can you
No,
just,
Dennis, they're not hearing it.
The mic is not on.
the mic, just hit the green button, make it.
Test.
Hey, no, we got you. We got you, Dennis.
And if you could just state your name and address for them. Should be. I heard it. But turn it towards you.
I don't think the mic is working at all.
54 Maple Place. Good evening, Mayor, Council. My comments tonight.
They're still
Dennis,
not,
they're
they're
still
still
not
not
hearing.
hearing. So, there's somebody,
You only hit it once.
Could you raise it?
Dennis is too tall,
Okay.
Roy.
Raise it a little bit.
If he says something bad about me, lower it.
Dennis, your 3 minutes are up.
Boy, you want my car too?
You're gonna hold me to the 3 minutes. Okay, we got my name, I'm all right?
Yes, we're good.
And address.
Yes.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My comments tonight are concerning the Green Acres and any other grant application. It's no secret I'm a proponent of Columbus Park, and I hope to offer a favorable suggestion as to the future of the park. There has been discussion of improvements to be made to several parks throughout the city, including Columbus Park. And I am not here tonight to argue for or against or what park should or should not receive funds. What I am suggesting is that any amenity that is agreed upon for use in Columbus Park be part of a long-term master plan that would best maximize the use of the park. Any piecemeal development outside of a master plan, in my opinion, would restrict further development and compromise the park from reaching its full potential. I would think the city manager Dutch and Mr. Boswell, given their years of experience in planning, would concur. I am of the opinion, and I know many others agree, that this 6 acres, through careful planning, can become this community's gem. The location of the park speaks for itself. Our Order Lane and Midland Avenue are the crossroads to 6 neighboring communities whose citizens pass the park on a daily basis, not to mention the hundreds of train commuters that pass by 7 days a week. I ask you sincerely, could there be a better resource of goodwill for this county than to develop a recreational, ecological, educational, community center at this site? If your priority is not youth or recreation, surely the pure aesthetics of what can be accomplished and what it would mean to our town should motivate you to plan properly. Think about combining the many recreational possibilities with perhaps a band shell that could be used for the arts or education, or possibly a greenhouse, which can be utilized for ecological or climate change study. Not to mention that the combination of the 3 may influence the folks in Trenton to loosen up their purse strings a bit more. All of this can come together at one of the most traveled crossroads in Bergen County. I truly believe the potential of this parcel is the most valuable property on our city's inventory and should be planned accordingly. Anything short of a master plan and completion in planned phases will give the appearance of a pieced-together homemade ball field, much as it appears today. Please remember this: Columbus Park will be a park as it has been for over 100 years. It will remain a park when your political terms expire. It will be a park long after you're gone. So why then, while you have the authority and resource, not make it one of our town's crowning achievements in a location that can be enjoyed and appreciated by all? Rich, I know that's 3 minutes. I added another 90 seconds.
You did good. Yeah, go ahead, then.
Manager Dutch, would you not agree that any application to Green Acres that was part of a plan that combined recreational, cultural, and ecological amenities would be viewed more favorably and perhaps receive greater funding than singular recreational amenities? I believe we live in an era where today's technology, open space can be utilized for so much more than just a ball field. And given the lack of open space, our educational, ecological, and recreational needs can and should exist at Columbus Park. Columbus Park is ground zero for such a site. Please consider your sense of pride and accomplishment, whereas other communities may view Columbus Park as a model for innovative thinking and an example for their future planning. This council has a virtual gold mine to work with. Please don't let the opportunity pass. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Dennis. Anyone else would like to come up and speak? I see no hands. I'm gonna open it up to council comments.
Thank you, Mayor. So I don't forget, I wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. It's coming this week.
Oh, shit.
I think that we've done some really great things the past year with regard to the budget, and I'm repeating that because it's worth saying. A $38 million budget and the work that the city manager and all the city officials have done is outstanding. As a side, and I don't want to bring it back up, Mayor, but as a simple caveat, $300 for a transcript, I think was most inadequate for the city to deny that request. Also, Mayor, I happen not to sit on any committees. You haven't appointed me to anything in the past years. Just as a volunteer offer, I'd love to sit on a committee, an official, meaningful committee that could look at the scope of what could happen to Columbus Park. If you establish that committee, I do not change my opinion, as I stated inside. If we're working on River Drive and we have money coming down the pipeline, grab the money, use it to do and finish something. But if we're going to put together a plan within the next few months for future requests, rather than doing it in a haphazard way, my volunteer hours are yours, if you so choose, Mayor.
Thank you.
With regard to the dog park, you will have that done this spring. I'm working now with Phil. I appreciate the council appointing him. It gives me someone that is knowledgeable as to what the requirements are, rather than just me talking to a fence man. But within the next month, you will have the plan. It's really not going to consist of a large expense because it's just really perpendicular fencing that needs to be put up. You have an outstanding park there already. So you will have that in the next couple of months. Happy Valentine's Day to all the men and women out there that are supporting and loving each other. God bless. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Councilman Calangelo.
Yes, as far as the Green Acres grant, I think we should definitely come up with the concept of what we want to see there, how much we put towards that concept on a basis, continual basis, or all at once. That's going to be up to the council. However, we can't lose sight of this park. This is a park that was often talked about. It was going to be sold to a developer. It was called underutilized. So just the fact that it was called underutilized, what are we going to do about it? Let it rot away? So this is something that has to be, in my opinion, needs to be addressed. This is something that, let's come up with that conceptual overall plan so that when we do make an improvement, it's not going to conflict with something else that may go there. But why we put it on the back burner, Mayor, I think it's time we put it on the front burner. I think it's something that, we have an opportunity to apply for funds, and we have a lot of options because there's a lot of needs. But this is something that, it's the diamond in the rough in the city. Well said by Mr. Malicki. We voted on this $300 some odd transcript, and it was denied. And I want to just say, it's a matter, I'm a council person elected by you, the public. Now, as a council person, and I'm happy to hear, because I fought for this in the past, the study is going to be presented to us. Where the last time, there was no study presented to the council. I myself do not sit on the planning board. I myself do not sit on the redevelopment. But yet, I'm being asked to make a decision, once this is fully presented, do I accept what they're saying? Do I accept the plan? In the past, some of the plans have had very bad history. We got defeated in court with a 26-page scathing decision on our redevelopment plan and on the study, more than anything. The study, the decision by the judge said I can't understand why no planning board members ask questions. So is it totally unreasonable for this council person trying to make an informed decision for them, the public, to have all the facts? Why is it so important to deny me? And this is not something that's going to be going on for every council person that wants it. I'm not afraid to go in my pocket either, because when we sued, myself, Mr. Malicki, Mr. Lawyer, when we sued this council and the planning board for taking a park that they say was underutilized, I had no problem doing that. This is a matter of principle. You want to give me limited information, and you want me to make the best decision on the fact that I can't hear what the public was saying. And that night, I heard Mr. Delaney say they should go to the hearing. I had a CPR course with our rec. So excuse me. If I was on the board, I certainly would have been there. But to hear the ridiculous excuses, this is talked about in our work session, and it was under closed, which it really doesn't need to be enclosed. I don't know why it was enclosed, but to even imply that because council people don't get raises, I'm not supporting it by our deputy mayor, that's ridiculous. We're here for the public. We're not here for you or me, but I'm asking for that information, and guess what? I'll make the best decision based on that. But you know what? It's not so much the issue, but it's where the issue comes from. And I can handle it. I'll deal with the nonsense. Mayor, you as a mayor, when I was in your seat, I wanted to bring everybody into what I was doing, what we were doing, the planning board, the redevelopment. We keep talking about, the city's doing well with the redevelopment. Sure, because we did it the right way. We didn't exclude nobody. We tried to make everybody part of what has taken place. And now we are still reaping the benefits. Because when you want to talk about stagnant, the city's been stagnant for the last 8 years. Because nothing major has gotten accomplished. And it's because of the attitude. Shame on you to deny. I'm not asking for my own property. I don't own property next to it. I'm not trying to make an issue. I just want to understand everything. But obviously, it's because Calandrillo asked for it. Nah, no way we're going to give it to him. And the part about the council raises, that's pathetic. We could pay for Atlantic City, to send council people to Atlantic City. We could pay for hotel rooms, but we can't pay for a simple transcript. That, Mayor, you said it's not even much in there. All right, so then just turn it over. It's the first time in 23 years I've ever requested a transcript. I think I have that, at least that much coming, as far as trying to make the decision for the people who elect me. We paid, and Mayor, you mentioned it last meeting, we paid middle school coaches. I had no idea we paid middle school coaches. No idea. I asked for the information. Was there a resolution? Was there, going back with Tom, with Drew, I'm still not getting this information. But yet we could pay for things without the council even knowing, but when you try to be transparent and you want to do things the right way, you're denied. That's what I'm dealing with. That's fine. I could handle it. But it's not fair to them, not fair to the public. And with that, I think the budget is a good budget, and I congratulate Tom, I congratulate Roy. Dieter is he doesn't formulate our budget, he's our auditor. He oversees it. He makes judgments on those matters. So I compliment you two gentlemen, and I think the city's in a good, strong financial position, and it's because of smart, well-informed redevelopment from many, many years as the city has made of progress throughout the years. And with that, I wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. And I'm sure there's going to be comments criticizing my comments, but I'll address it at the next meeting because they won't allow me to interject or to defend what I'm saying here. So happy Valentine's, everyone. Thank you.
Councilwoman,
Thank you, Mayor. In regards to Green Acres, I just wanted to say that Garfield sets the standard for our Green Acres grant and program. As the new acting Elmwood Park clerk, I was instructed to ask our city manager, Tom Dutch, today to join us for a meeting with our governing body, engineer, and grant writer. And, I think it's something that we should be proud a neighboring community is asking our city manager to attend because we set that high standard with River Drive. And as we all know, Green Acres is an opportunity that only comes around every 2 years. We have to take full advantage of it, which we have in the past. It's absolutely amazing what's been done on River Drive with Phase 1 thus far. And in our work session, Mr. Loya suggested that, we continue to focus on River Drive, and I thought that was a great suggestion. Before we begin another large undertaking, let's ensure the one that we currently started moves forward, gets done the right way, and gets done as quickly as possible. So, I like that suggestion. If that's not the route that the rest of the council wants to take, I've been major advocate for a special needs park here in Garfield, and I still stand by that. I think it's something that's definitely needed, and a community that doesn't have the services that they should here in the city for the time being. Maybe it's something we could look into with Bergen County Open Space. But as of right now with Green Acres, I really think River Drive completion should be a main focus. Just to quickly touch base on some of the things that Mr. Calandrillo brought up in regards to the coaches. I know with our department heads, they spend money that doesn't get ran by the council all the time. But from my understanding, this is a shared service that all that age group from the middle school benefited from. It was something that the rec department opened up to all children in Garfield that may not necessarily go to the middle school because he did not have that program to offer at that time. So I'm 100% fine with the decision that our rec director made to help assist with that program, that $2,000. And moving forward, he saw that there be no need for it and decided not to contribute money to it after that. So I have full faith, as I mentioned earlier, in the professionals that we appoint to certain positions, and I have full faith in the rec director with the decisions that he makes. With that being said, I just wanted to bring the Green Team. One of the resolutions on the floor tonight, I want to thank the rest of the council for their support, was to apply for a $2,000 grant with Sustainable New Jersey. Last year was the first time Garfield was ever awarded a grant through Sustainable New Jersey, so I'm excited at the opportunity to expand on that. It's with the Cistern and Rain Barrel Project. And if we are awarded this $2,000, we'll be able to do more with that. And then we also applied for a grant with the Bergen County Utilities Authority for $3,000 to contribute to our motor oil and tire recycling program. I also had the opportunity to bring Care Plus, an agency here to the city of Garfield with the Bergen County Council for Young Children. We had our first meeting with community stakeholders. I thought it was a success, and from that meeting, they have a meeting scheduled at the Boys and Girls Club on the 26th. For any family that is interested in attending, they want to bring services to our residents at no cost. They are very involved in Elmwood Park and focus a lot on mental health and stigma-free. And for anyone that attends, they will be raffling gift cards for them being there. And then last but not least, happy Valentine's Day. Also this Saturday, we have the Black History Month event at 4 p.m. for those of you that would like to join us. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
Yes, quickly, I'll just like to say, Dennis, I spoke with Tom, I believe it was on Saturday, with regards to Columbus Field. And the reason I spoke with Tom about it is because in the paper last week, Saddlebrook has this big plan about doing a big community development center. And it looked great. And I'm like, if Saddlebrook could do it, why can't Garfield? So we spoke about Woodbridge. Woodbridge has this beautiful community center, which is good from ages 0 to 100. So it just don't affect the kids, it affects everybody. Why can't Garfield do something like that? So I was thinking Columbusville might be a beautiful place to put it. You know, or we could have the YMCA, the Boys Club, the Rec Center, the Senior Center, everything in one brand-new building, along with the band shell, along with Special Needs Park. And we could actually, I mean, that could be a home run. That could be the best thing to happen to Garfield in years. So I asked Tom to look at the Woodbridge Community Center and the one that Saddlebrook's looking to build. And let's, you want to think big? That's big. That's big. And why stop there? Let's continue. And I think, hey, it's going to take a while, but the first step is always the most important. Let's take a look, see what we could do there. So I agree with you 100%. Make it a master plan. If we could do something like that, I think it'll be a home run. But no ideal isn't feasible. Anything is good for that. I had a quality of life meeting yesterday with the department heads, and it was a good meeting. There'll be a resolute ordinance coming up again. We're still trying to address some cleanliness issues in the city of Garfield. It's very important, I believe. Spring is coming, so we want to take on that, the cleanliness and other things. I don't see this being stagnant, our redevelopment. I mean, in the past 8 years. I can't even fathom why we would say that. Within the past 8 years, we just, the Vornado property alone, and it all started, believe it or not, with the McDonald's. Once that McDonald's came in, when I was mayor, which was 8 years ago, I believe Councilman was saying, then right after that followed Marshall's, then Burlington, then Petco, then Ultra, then everything else. Before that, before 8 years ago, only thing you had it was Applebee's and Walmart. So please don't tell me it was stagnant, because redevelopment in the past 8 years is anything but stagnant. All right? Well, we're pushing it, we're encouraging it, and we wanted to see it happen. And we are definitely 100% behind it. With regard to the $300, it's not denying Councilman Calandro $300. It's just that if Joe Smith has to pay the $300, why shouldn't I? Am I better than a citizen who wants to get the same transcripts? No, I'm not better. So why shouldn't I have to pay the $300 when they have to, or whatever it is? And it's not, I never brought up about raises with that. Only thing I said with an increase in raises in 95, 96, 97 was all $300 each. And the last increase, which was, I don't know how many years ago, was also $300. So I didn't say I'm not voting it because council ain't getting a raise. But by okaying that, then you actually will be getting a raise, Mr. Calandrolo. That's what I'm saying. So, Frank, I didn't interrupt you, so please be courteous, Frank. All right? And for many years, I sat on the end, not involved in the planning board, not involved in the zoning board, because the mayor at the time, who was Mr. Calandrolo, decided not to put me on. And you know what? I didn't cry. I accepted it. Hey, I sat at the end. That's where I was. But I did do everything possible to make the city run better. I didn't complain. You know, I went to planning board meetings. I went to redevelopment meetings. All right? That's what I did. I didn't sit back and say I'm not on anything. And with regards to speaking about $300, Frank, you complained about $300 with Tom Dutch's furniture for months. All right? You brought up about a water bill payment on Midland Ave for I don't know how many months. You complain about paying $300. So don't say that you question more bills than anybody, Frank. If this was another bill about $300, you'd be questioning it big time. But because you say it's, Frank.
I'll answer it next meeting.
All right? Frank, we just questioned the whole $1,000 coaching stipend. And meanwhile, we were all at that meeting when we said, yeah, let's do it. It was discussed in the work session. about with the volleyball? We said, let's do it. Now, all of a sudden, because it was mentioned last week, emails back and forth, why was it done? Nobody's pulling the wool over nobody's eyes. We're more transparent now than ever before. We're filming meetings. Meetings were never filmed before. Meetings were never filmed. They just start getting filmed now. So you telling me that this council isn't transparent? We're transparent, more so than any other before. So we're not hiding anything. We put it right out there in the public, and that's just the way it is. With regards to Valentine's Day, I know it's former Mayor Tanner Raymond's birthday on Valentine's Day, so I'd like to wish her a happy birthday. Am I right? All right? Pretty sure.
Yes, you are.
Thank you, Drew. Like to recognize Black History Month, and also, thank God we all got here safe. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight on a night like this with the weather that we had. It wasn't a great night, hence the flannel I wore. But please accept the flannel. It has my way of saying it's cold outside. With that, good night.
All right, thank you, Joe. First of all, I want to thank DPW. They're working hard overtime, and they're keeping our streets safe so everybody could get through and get to work tomorrow on time. There's also a delayed opening for school tomorrow for anybody in the audience who wants to know that. Lou brought up Phil Amato, our animal humane officer. I just want to state that, it was a good hire. Right now, he wants to work with the schools and our superintendent in educating our children about animals and treating the animals the right way and everything like that. So he's going beyond the scope of his job description, and he really wants to help out, so I appreciate that. Dennis, I agree with you. There needs to be a master plan. And it's funny because, we started this whole thing about Columbus Field because it is underutilized. And let's not kid ourselves. It's always been underutilized and it's still underutilized right now. Right now, there are people walking in Century Field. There's people walking at Dannard's Lake. There's not even a track to walk around with. If you're not playing baseball, you're not using that park. But yet, we're utilizing it with our DPW cutting the grass, whatever they're doing. So there needs to be a master plan. With the grants coming up, I agree that we should do something to come up with a master plan. We're talking about splash parks, a band shell. We're talking about, knocking down the VFW building, putting a new building up there. But there needs to be something in there, and hopefully it will come soon. I just don't want to put stuff up there, rack-tack, put it in here, and then 3 years later, we got to take it down because we're going to have a master plan. So before we do anything, there should be at least a vision, something on paper, and then we can move forward. I agree with you 100% that something needs to be done with that park so it could be utilized by everybody in the town, because that is right in the hub of our neighborhood, and everybody sees it, and it should be used and utilized every day. And I kind of like putting a committee together for that park, but once we get that plan, or before we get a plan, I like to, we got to sit and discuss it. But, just thinking it through, we get these park grants and everything, the Green Acre grants, and I think some money should be put there at least to look into it. And I'll be talking to some council and Tom later on about that. There's not much going on today. I think, again, Tom and Roy and Dieter for the budget. I think it's a great budget. We have the Black History. It's always a good thing to learn about the history of the United States, and the Garfield Black History Committee, they do a great job putting it. It's at the Senior Center, so I look forward to going into that. If Lou didn't tell everybody about Happy Valentine's Day, I would have actually forgot, so I appreciate that as well, because Thursday would have came and gone, and I would have been in trouble on Friday. With that, I wish everybody a safe journey back home. Stay warm, and safe travels. Meeting adjourned.
Okay, motion by Calandrillo, seconded by Aaron Delaney. All in favor, say aye.
Good night, guys.